Development Authority of Grenada, PDA, is enforcing regulations to curb illegal, disorderly, and unauthorized development in several locations throughout the state of Grenada. The authority is concerned that structures mainly associated with vending are negatively impacting the environment, has undesirable public health and sanitation consequences, present obstructions to vehicle and pedestrian traffic, can become projectiles during adverse weather conditions, and generally affect the aesthetics of the nation. The PDA will work along with stakeholder ministries and institutions to effect the demolition, removal, and disposal of structures which fall in the category of illegal and disorderly development, commencing January 2024. In this regard, persons who vend in or occupy such illegal structures are advised to secure their personal belongings and have the structures removed ahead of the planned PDA demolition operations. These actions of the PDA have become necessary to safeguard and protect public health and the environment, ensure the safety and well-being of all citizens and visitors, discourage any future disorderly construction, and encourage compliance to regulations pertaining to physical development in the state of Grenada. This is a message from the Planning and Development Authority of Grenada.
For an exhilarating adventure? Then look no further than Ride Excursions and Tours. Get ready to explore the great outdoors like never before with our powerful e-bikes. Discover breathtaking sightseeing tours around the island. Feel the wind in your hair and experience nature in its purest form. Now, whether you're a seasoned rider or a beginner, our e-bikes are perfect for everyone. Call us at 473-422-1011 to book your excursion or visit ridersebikes.com. That's ridersebike.com to reserve your spot. Unleash your adventurous spirit with Ride Excursions and Tours, where every journey becomes an unforgettable adventure. Yeah. Welcome to Ride Along Live. Yeah. As you guys come and go ahead and share everything. I see Terry Alexander saying no audio. No audio. Supposed to be hearing me fine. You're supposed to be hearing me fine. As you come and go ahead and share the thing, guys. Today is an interesting program. Of course, as promised, we have the Honorable Ron Redhead, who's going to be chatting with us live. A lot to discuss. A lot to talk about. Donna, how you doing? Yes. So everybody, this is what I want you to do. Tag a friend right now. In fact, tag 10 people. Because there have been so much talk, there have been so much back and forth, and so much things, man. And this is Honorable Ron Redhead first, interview after the cabinet reshuffle, where there have been a lot of controversy, a lot of conversation. So, Ride Along is a place where everyone have a story to tell, and we always bring the exclusive to you first and fast, right here. So that's why we are here. All right, guys, everybody hear me fine? Everybody hear me fine? Loud and clear, Christine, big up yourself. Nice, thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. All right, so guys, again, as we promised, the Honorable Ron Redhead is our guest today. So I want everybody to do this for me right now. A nice big up and welcome. Now, before we bring on the minister, before we bring on Honorable Ron Redhead, let me say this because I didn't get a chance to really say it yesterday, guys. I am so happy and proud of the people of St. Patrick and St. Mark thus far, guys. As you know, we went out on this excursion. We started in St. Mark, and it was so amazing. Now, last week we went to St. Patrick, and one of the best places, I think, to have an excursion is in St. Patrick. Now, folks telling me that St. David is really nice too. We have some nice route for St. David. But I just want to say thank you to the people of St. Patrick. The hospitality that they showed our riders, even while we briefly drove on the street, right? Because we didn't do a lot of main road driving. We were mainly trail. But while we drove on the street, the drivers, man, they were so accommodating and so understanding. And we got to say thank you so much to the folks of St. Patrick, St. Mark so far. And this Sunday, guys, this Sunday, we are going to be in the parish of St. Andrew. We're going to be starting at Pearls Airport. We're going up Paradise, going into Lafayette, ending up going over by Baltazar. Inside that road there, that's a nice little trail. We're ending up in Baltazar, and then we have Tube, right? So ride on Tube, and that's going on this Sunday. And we want to invite you guys to be a part of it. Okay? All right. Okay. Nice. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. Yes, thank you so much. So that being said, we have an option, guys. If you have a friend or family in Grenada and you want to gift them a ride, you could also go on the website and buy a gift card so they could purchase a ride. You could purchase a ride for them. All right. So go on the website, ridersebike.com, and you could go ahead and purchase that. And it's going so great. Folks are enjoying it. Everyone is having a blast while riding, getting some workout. And for the folks that joined us from SGU, they had such a great time. It's just so amazing. When I thought about this guy, I never thought it'd be so big. It would be so enormous, but it is. It's really blowing up. I gotta thank all the riders for participating and showing us some maximum love. Yes, 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 and yes. All right, guys. Enough talking, enough yapping. Let's bring on the man himself, Honorable Ron Redhead. He's right now in Carriacou, but guys, he said he made a promise to be with us, and he is keeping his promise. Honorable Ron Redhead, we thank you so much, and belated happy birthday to you, my friend.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Junior. And it's a pleasure. I couldn't miss it for the world, notwithstanding that I'm in Carriacou at the moment, and it's not best in terms of data. But definitely, we were trying to see how we get it done, and certainly I'm happy that I'm on. So, greetings to all Grenadians, both at home and in the diaspora. Happy Independence.
Yeah, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So you are you just celebrated a birthday.
So, you want me to give out my age? But I had a little back and forth.
No, well,
I think I should be 32.
okay, young guy, man, young guy.
Mm,
So nice, nice, nice. Listen, one of the things that what we're going to talk about a little bit later, right? But I want to talk about first your achievement thus far and what you deem as the administration achievement thus far. Being in politics, being in the seat, the helm of the administration for going on about 2 years or so.
yes,
What have what do you think have been your achievement and accomplishment as the
mhm,
role of a minister, of the role of the minister, Hollywood, and that in that seat?
right. So I do apologize. I'm having a little difficulty to hear you because I didn't walk with the headset. But what I can say based on the question, I think I picked up in terms of the achievement, um, both as minister and I presume as MP. I think it's one of satisfaction. Being someone who was young and coming into the political arena, winning the seat first and foremost, and also be a government minister, serving at the level of cabinet. It was a wonderful experience, and I got to achieve a number of things. I mean, I can just go on about some of them. So, for example, we restructured the museum, National Museum, and today it has been reopened. We are satisfied with that, not just as an individual minister, but certainly as the government of Grenada. We have gotten to the point where we are relaying the tracks and improve the quality of our athletics track. And let me just pause to say that in the past, the tracks that we had were substandard. We thank all those involved, certainly in the past, but it was not of top notch. No, these tracks that we have is coming from a very reputable company, and it will improve Grenada's ranking in terms of the quality of the track. And this is something that I personally spent some time as the minister to ensure that we chose this one in conjunction with the Ministry of Infrastructure and some of the other stakeholders when it became apparent that we had to do the sampling for them. We also had great many achievements in the area of sports, and not just from the physical infrastructure standpoint, but certainly from a policy standpoint, and that had to do with the national policy on sports and physical activity.
Mhm.
And so we achieved great many things there. Also in the area of culture in particular, we achieved great many things there. And in particular with the youth, young people, we achieved great many things there, including being able to reform the Imani program and being in a position now to say that the people who are with the government service are going to be regularized. And so we have seen in just 18 months, and within that 18-month window, that we were able to achieve a number of things that were substantive, which in a nutshell took Grenada almost 20 years to even reach to that level. So I'm satisfied there. As it relates to the constituency, Junior,
Mhm.
the quality of representation, and it's not of my own saying, but if you ask the people, it has been an excellent one. Now, everybody would not be able to see the member of parliament, and that's the truth. However,
Right.
in the short space of time that we have been there, we have seen a tremendous amount of development taking place, and both on the social side and also from an infrastructural standpoint. So, on the social side, for example, we've seen more businesses opened up in St. George Northeast. As it relates to the infrastructure, we have seen a number of roads, bridges, you name it, right? Walls, back walls, all these other aspects constructed, which also to the benefit of the people. And so we are confident that we are continuing to do what we have to do in the best interest of all the people, and I continue to serve. So from that standpoint, Junior, I am totally satisfied that notwithstanding some what I would consider to be attempts to destabilize, remain focused at the task at hand. And I just feel confident that we continue to serve in St. George Northeast. And certainly, I made my mark as a government minister.
Yeah, in when you look at it retrospectively, right? Let's look at the ministry that you held, right? What are some of the things if you had to do a redo, or if you had to go at had a whack at it again? Were there anything that was done that you probably would have done differently?
Yeah, well, given the short space of time, definitely as it relates to the youth, I think it took much too long to get a handle on the web that was left and the design that the last administration had in relation to the Ministry of Youth. I really couldn't understand what is it that the purpose and the focus of some of the programs, what were they trying to achieve in its, whether it's embryonic stages or the stages where they would go for, let's say, more than 5 years, running a program for more than 5 years. So we didn't really see the big achievements, and simply because the difficulty in terms of getting the information and being in a position to say, well, okay, is this person under a contract? Is this person, is the contract expired? What is the purpose of this individual? How did this particular individual get chosen to be on the program in the first place? XYZ. Some of that cleaning up and deep dive that was required. I wish that we could have done that a little faster, notwithstanding that, I thought that we got a pretty good handle on the situation, and at this point, we were able to see that this is the situation and this will be the focus. So, for example, I'm satisfied, notwithstanding that it took long, that we were able to see that we were going to develop the young people through the institutions of the country and not create this quasi or semi institutions, which largely were around the politics and not focused on the total development of the young people. So as I said, I am satisfied with the outcome, but I think it took much too long.
Right. What about in terms of culture? What about in terms of culture?
Right. Yeah. No, well, in terms of culture, I thought that we made significant advancements. How we saw it was that the creative economy was to be developed into a revenue generating ministry, meaning that it was going to take the young people who were already creative and, in a nutshell, assist them to
Hmm.
get to the professional level so that they can earn on their creativity. And that culture, in its general form, we were going to focus on the development of culture so that it feeds into the creative economy. So I thought I would not do anything differently there. Again, we were excellent in my view in our performance. We were able to sign, for example, the first MOU with PAN, the PAN Association, and there's still some work to do to ensure that it is fully implemented. We were able to work on developing some of the community aspects of culture. So, for example, we returned the Come On Folk Festival with tremendous success. And this had to do primarily with the developmental focus and aspect. So, going to the schools, building
Right.
their interest around that. We are satisfied that we did enough work to say that this year, 2024, we're going to see a return of the festivals of the arts. So that
Hmm.
is how well we worked on the developmental aspect of the culture. The other thing we were satisfied of that we constructed the first ever music lab in Carriacou and Pidimatni. It's almost finished. I would look at it sometime tomorrow before I head down with Minister, and we will see, what are some of the outstanding things there, and of course work with the ministers back in Grenada to ensure that it is completed 100%. So, from that aspect, I thought that there were wonderful achievements. Again, probably what I would do differently was to move with a little bit more pace with some of the things because I thought that my own feeling is that the government service is just a little too slow to bring benefits to people and to bring about solutions to the vast majority of the population.
Hmm. You said earlier, Minister, about sometimes in your constituency, people might
Yes.
say that they didn't see you or they don't see you enough, and
Mhm.
so in the whole scheme of things, you actually have two jobs: a job that the constituency gave you by electing you
Yeah.
as an MP, and you have a job that the Prime Minister gave you as
Yes.
a member of the cabinet. How do you prioritize and say which is more important, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Is it that the MP job comes first, or the cabinet
Yeah,
position
yeah. No,
first?
no, and it's a really, really deep question. And I think no politician would be in a position to answer that concretely and to say that they were able to prioritize one over the other. Take, for example, a constituency and ministry like Carriacou and Pitimatnik, where the ministry is actually the constituency.
Yeah.
So it augurs well there. And it is able to service both elements at the same time. And whereas you had a situation where I would have a constituency known as St. George Northeast, the second or third largest constituency in the country, and having to take on three different divisions for a ministry, I don't know of anyone who was able to learn in the shortest possible time, within 6 months or so, and still be able to effectively bring changes to the public in their constituencies. So you often had a struggle in terms of the time and which one you would want to prioritize. And that's the reality for anyone, especially a young person entering politics. I have a young family as well, and oftentimes I had to sacrifice my young family so that we could achieve what we were achieving. And that goes beyond saying that I had to put off my studies so that I could actually run in the campaign. And so there were a number of things that I was sacrificing, and I would say to my own detriment, because in the long run, politics is always an ungrateful, very ungrateful venture. And you have to have skin in the game to be in it in the first instance. And so, me not wanting to fall by the wayside after, because you don't know what the future would hold. You must get serious, because this is not just for me, but certainly my children, my daughter and my son, and to ensure that my wife to be is going to be in a better position, not worse off after the stint or however long that I serve on behalf of the people. So it was always a very difficult task to balance the
Right.
member of parliament duties and the ministerial duties and even your own personal private duties with family, etc. It was very, very difficult in some instances, and still is.
Right. So some might ask, did you
Mhm.
miscalculate the work that goes into being a member of parliament or being elected into that position?
So
Did
I
you
didn't I
did
didn't
you
get
not
that part of the
foresee
first
that?
part. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, did you not foresee the difficulty or the possible
Oh
difficulties, the
yes, yes.
controversy, the
Yes, yes, yes. So you don't get into a race with the expectation that you're only going to win. Obviously not. So yes, I did foresee the difficulty, but again, you can sit out. It's like a domino player. You see the game better when you're sitting outside, but not until you get in there you would actually see the effects of the thing. So you had to go in there really to learn it. And I think what went well was that prior to me becoming elected, um, I was serving in the National Democratic Congress for a period of almost 10 years. And so the general um, guise of the political struggle was always there. And I always had that experience, but I
right.
have the appetite for it, and I'm not too worried too much about that. But sometimes, from a professional standpoint, you have to think long term. And therefore, the question of the balancing act and the prioritization of what you are doing, it comes into the mix, and you have to make the best decisions, because politics is about decision making, influence, people, that sort of thing. And so you cannot neglect your personal development, because as you advance and as you go into the thing longer, you would recognize that you need that level of depth to continue. And so, me finishing, me ensuring that my family is okay, I think these are critical elements that one can easily overlook in politics and should not be.
Yeah. What about the throwback or the hits that you get, controversy that comes into play when you are in frontline politics? What about that?
Mhm,
Does that play a role and affect the way how you govern or how you make decision? Because of course
mhm,
you out there, people would like you, people would hate you.
mhm,
There would be a slew of people that would throw mud at you,
mhm,
regardless of if you're doing your best job and you're sacrificing. They don't want to. They don't care about that.
mhm.
They're out for your neck. How do you deal with this situation and the
Yeah,
dynamic
well,
in
the
politics?
reality is in the field of politics, you can't play mass and free powder. And
Right.
so oftentimes you know that you are going to meet stiff opposition, whether or not you're doing good or bad. You're going to meet people who, just for whatever reason, is going to apply that pressure. And so you can't quiver by the first sign of it. You have to just keep ensuring that you focus on what you have to achieve. It's like Franca Bernardine always used to tell us when she became leader of the party, keep your eyes on the prize, right? Stay focused. Essentially, that's the message that guides me, because ultimately, people are going to attempt to distract. People are going to say things which they have absolutely no evidence, information, or clue of.
Right.
And once you're in public life, you have to make up your mind to be judged. And as I said, you can't play mass and free powder. So going out there, putting your neck on a block, so to speak, for your belief is going to come with some level of resistance, and you have to expect that. So there is no fear in my mind where that is concerned, but certainly as it relates to the family, I would often try my best to keep them out of it as much as possible, because some people They do not see causes or problems to be solved. What they see is personalization. And for the mere fact of petty jealousy or hatred, they will attempt to go all out, including trying to attack your family. So you always have to make preparations for that and do what is in the best interest for them.
Right. Were you surprised? Were you surprised of the vitriol that was tossed at you, the things that was said about you?
No, no, not at all. And especially when I look at some of the people who are saying it. And Junior, I would say off the bat that all the activists, opposition, all these people, in one way or another, I have met with all of them throughout my many years in the National Democratic Congress.
Right.
And so I have met people, for example, who are with the present opposition, came to me personally to support them to be the leader of the NDC during the struggles of the 2018s, 2013s general elections. And so some who have been with us now touting as if they are the most righteous in terms of being a voice for the voiceless, etc. I know all the secrets and the tricks, and I'm saying that half of what is being tossed at me as an individual, none
Right.
of it can hold water. It's just basket they giving because they can't provide any hard evidence. I mean, they might be able to toss a paper out here with some signature or some kind of thing, but it is grossly misrepresented and always taken out of context in an attempt to try to sway public opinion on the individual who I am. Now, I don't need to worry about that. But in politics, perception becomes reality. And one
Right.
always often has to, you have to guard, sorry, your character, because that's all you have. People will talk all kind of things about you who don't know you and so on. You have to expect that. But to the extent that you have some people who are ignorant, believing some of the misinformation, that is a dangerous thing. So, for example, I want to debunk on your program a vicious lie that has been started that I've been fired because I took some $500,000 or something about I give somebody $500,000 check or some kind of crap like that. Right? I'm sorry for my language, but Junior, none of that is true.
Mhm.
And I can tell you the slew of lies and misinformation that has been out there is just absolutely ridiculous. But it's expected because you don't stone empty mango trees,
Right.
right? And so, as I mentioned, some of the individuals who are out there with the fake pages, the misinformation, the propaganda, and so on, I know all of them. And I know who's behind all of these funny names on Facebook and so on. And
Right.
again, petty jealousy, hatred, for whatever reason, they need to help themselves. I can't help them. They may need professional help. But I'm saying that this is the genesis of some of these things. I have not done anybody any wrong, and I'm a very hard worker, and I'm committed to the struggle, and I'm committed to serve. So I know clearly my conscience is clear. When I sleep at night, I'm not worried about what somebody has to say about me because I know that I haven't wronged any individual. And time I spring up and say things about me, but that's their right because I'm in public life and you have to expect to be criticized. But when it gets to the point with the lies, we have to call it out for what it is.
Right, right. Guys, if you just join us, we're chatting here with Honorable Ron Redhead. Have a lot to say, a lot to talk about, and we're going to give you guys an opportunity to chime in as well during the conversation here. You mentioned something earlier about,
Mhm.
the propaganda that you say was
Yes.
spread, the lies and people
Mhm.
calling you out and saying he was fired for this and he was fired for that. We're going to get to that because that is a question that a lot of people was asking. Was he fired? Did the prime minister decide to get rid of him for this reason or that reason? I want to get to that shortly. But let me
Mhm.
ask you this, Honorable
Mhm.
Redhead.
Yes.
Why do you think that you specifically get so much airtime on some of the opposition media? You are oftentimes called out in many, many, many,
Well,
many. You're the focus
yeah,
of.
Junior, well, boy, the truth is, I don't know what is the obsession with the opposition as it relates to me. I can tell you that I don't spend my time talking much about the opposition. I try to spend my time seeing how we could solve problems in my constituency. I think to a large extent, when I joined politics in my very younger age, with the National Democratic Congress, it was about causes and struggles and helping to bring about whether it was fighting for Party Williams to get back a job.
Right.
And doing these things without anybody saying thank you, without anybody saying, well, job well done. Because it's easy to highlight negativity, and it's easy to go out there and say, well, Ron say this or Ron do this based on a perception. But when you do good, the voices are often soft because everybody may have their own horse in a race that they may be backing. And as such, one always must guard themselves against it. So I will put it this way: I cannot comment for the opposition. I continue to serve the National Democratic Congress. I continue to support the Honorable Deacon Mitchell. I continue to support the government of Grenada. I continue to support my party and work within my constituency to serve the people to the best of my ability. And so, for whatever reason, they want to continue with the propaganda and all these other things, they could be my guest. Because all of that is just an attempt to distract from the real issues. Because half in what I am being criticized for publicly in changing the price of sugar. And I could tell you that. So, in my own mind, I don't need to spend my time worrying about what they are saying. I need to spend my time wondering what I need to do for the people of Northeast, St.
Right.
George, and by extension to assist the government of Grenada.
Right. You mentioned about public perception, and I understand public perception is a big
Yes.
part of politics because people could say the world about you. I get attacked sometimes too, but I'm in a position I
Yeah.
answer back. I hit back. Right. You hit me, I
Yeah.
hit you back. But how do you deal with it? Like being a political figure, you have to remain in a certain kind of way. You have to kind of
Right.
be
Yeah. So
political.
there's always diplomacy. And I think that often uh, misconstrue the wrong perception about people. No, because I do not choose to respond to a lie does not mean that it is true. And while I agree in politics, perception is reality. Your focus, because at the end of the day, if I am going down in the gutter and so on as a political candidate, member of parliament, etc., that's not what you vote for. You didn't vote for somebody to be a hooligan,
Right.
first and foremost. And I don't need to get worked up if the public criticize me over maybe a handling of a particular issue or over an issue itself. So, in that, you have to have skin in the game
Right.
and not be so concerned about what people think about you as a young politician. So I'll give my first public recommendation to young politicians.
Hmm.
Don't get flustered when people talk about you, and don't feel that everything is a personal attack. Don't feel that they coming for you and it's a fight down, and stop playing the victim or being the victim, right? So you need to focus on what you need to achieve. And that's a lesson that I want to teach any young person coming into politics. Because politics is a good thing,
Right.
right? And being able to serve your country, being able to serve your community, that is a good thing. And so oftentimes negative people who are not able to do that would like to tarnish your character, would like to attack you and so on when you're doing a good job. And that's just the truth in politics. That's how it is. But as I said, I can't, I really don't know what what the obsession and all these other things are.
Right.
But I continue to do the best that I can do, and
But
I'm not fearful at all
But
about
even
the
if you
criticisms.
even
In
if you
fact,
choose,
most of the people who criticize me, I good with them. If I see them in public, we laugh, I give them some picong, and I tell them stop that, etc., etc. Most of
right,
them, if not all, and they can tell you that if they're honest. So I'm not fearful of any public criticism of me because I'm not doing anything to hide anything or to pretend and so on. What you see here is what you get, right?
yeah,
So I don't need to worry about that.
right. No, no, and you're right. You're right because I don't think anyone voted. for someone to be a gutter politician and go in that
Right.
old frame. I mean, I would tell somebody bring their mother quickly. I mean, I
Yeah.
that's just me. Or should there be a mechanism? I mean, hey, you hit me, I hit you back. That's how I play, man. I sometimes I don't belong in the mud all the
Yeah.
time. I'm not a mud kind of person, and my producer hates when I get anywhere close to the mud.
Yeah.
But should there be a mechanism? Because public perception is easy to get
Yes.
people to believe something if you have three, four different mediums saying it over and over. Should there be some kind of
It becomes
mechanism?
reality.
Yes. Should there be some kind of mechanism that
Hmm.
kind of, you know, kind of
To debunk
put
it.
fact defend?
Right. So yes, yes, and the simple answer is action speaks louder. So if somebody say that you cannot, uh, you can't govern, you may not respond to them immediately, and it might catch on to some of the people who want to criticize you.
Right.
But eventually, over time, when you serve your term and people look at the quality of your representation, the quality of the service that you brought, and the quality of the governance that you brought for the particular country or the constituency, that speaks louder and speaks more than the noise in the market, because the noise in the market is not the sale of fish. And as such, you often have to see the bigger picture when you're in politics. It's
Right.
easy to get sucked into the propaganda warfare and answering and throwing shade and so on. It's very easy to do that, right? And in fact, that is what separates the sheep from the goats in politics, is
Mm-hmm.
that you can't be thin skinned. You look at some politicians in Grenada, they're giving the most talk. But the minute time you hit them with that talk, they get so flustered and they get so upset. And it shows more of their weakness than their strength. So, I mean, on my own part, I just see the need to laugh at some of these things, because once I know it's not true, I know that time will certainly tell in terms of who was speaking the truth as opposed to who was not speaking the truth. So, as I said, I could recall campaigning, for example, and I went in Ravine, community called Ravine, and we spoke there. The next morning, I got a call from some of my workers, and they said that one former member of the National Democratic Congress, who is now a podcaster, sent them some information that I said that we will legalize homosexuality. And it was not true. It was deliberate, and it was an attempt to try to see how they could somehow tag this thing along with the party and myself as an individual. But I didn't respond to it directly. I even called the very individual
Mm-hmm.
just to feel the individual out, to say, well, look, this thing is going around. You know about that? Say, boy, these people could real tell lies. And the response I got clearly told me that it either originated around that circle or the person knew what they were doing. And so, as I said, I don't need to say that I ain't doing something just because somebody come out and criticize me about it. I'm saying that professionally, if you run for office, there are certain standards that you agree to upkeep. There are certain qualities that the people look onto you for. You're a
Yeah.
leader, and as such, you don't see a leader fighting with a subordinate in the opponent's camp.
Right.
You see a leader taking on another leader, because that is what leaders do. Leaders lead by example. And we are saying in the National Democratic Congress, for example, that we want to change the politics of spite and hate and propaganda
Yes.
warfare and lies and so on to a positive level and quality of politics. We cannot continue on that path with the lies and the propaganda, because it will get us nowhere. It will have us going out and say there's oil and gas, and there's no oil and gas. So we don't want to go back to those days. What we want is truth and positivity, where a politician, yes, there will be time for picong, etc., but can serve with dignity and equality, such as our prime minister, and do it in a manner that the public itself sees the change, not just from the fact that you had a change in government, but
Right.
from an attitudinal standpoint. So, in our view, because we are young, and it's expected that we would want to go down into the gutter politics, and the fact that we are not doing it, I know a lot of people are upset because they are used to this trading of words and wars, etc. That's not the issue. Our issue is that we have unemployment rates that we want to continue going down. Our issue is that we have high cost of living, which we need to tackle in a serious way. And this administration have been doing that. Our issue is that enough of our students are not getting access to quality education in a way where they do not have to go bankrupt or their families do not have to go bankrupt just to send them to school. And
Right.
so these are the issues, the causes. And as I have said to all the advocates, activists, young activists, and so on in the country, whom I have had the opportunity to engage, focus on causes and stop, leave people business alone. In
Mhm.
politics, there will be time when you're campaigning where that could be used, and that is a tactic. But generally, focus on a cause, focus on an issue that you want solved, and work towards solving it. Make your contribution in that way. And in that way, people would then see you for who you are. But if everything is people business and personal attack and lies and so on, then you know that ain't holding nothing and you can't withstand the test of times with that. You need
Right.
more than that.
Right. And then you spend a lot of your time just responding and not getting nothing done.
Yeah.
No, I totally understand that. All right, let's move into another area that I promised that we will touch on. Recently, there was a cabinet reshuffle,
Yeah.
and um, I'm not sure if it was the wording of the prime minister or if it was the way how it was said or phrased.
Mhm.
The narrative that was formed after the announcement of the reshuffle was that somehow you were fired or
Yeah.
you lost your job, right? What happened? Tell us the back end behind all of this shuffle and how
Right.
you in turn is
Right.
no
Well,
longer
I can't go into details.
and youths.
Right. Well, I can't go into details as you would well appreciate, not because I have anything to withhold, but these are more um, personal conversations and not anything that is warranted for public consumption at this point. But I
Right.
would simply say this that my focus as the former minister is not about me being part of the team, right? I still remain part of the team. I just do not serve at the cabinet level. I still remain a member of parliament. I still remain an active member of the National Democratic Congress. I still remain well involved with the happenings of the country. But it has nothing to do primarily with if I didn't hold a position, if I should have held a position. This is more to do, Junior, with the focus on me completing my degree so that in future I do not need to go over that exercise. It is something that I have completed, and in a sense, I could reach for the stars. And so I can tell you from this standpoint, the public need not worry, the public need not stress. This is not some time in the past where we had internal struggles or anything like that. Absolutely not. We remain focused and resolute to ensuring that we move Grenada forward. Our priority, essentially, as I said, is around issues to be solved and not about personalization. So just because I don't hold a cabinet position does not take away on my own contribution towards my party and my government.
Right. Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
clear enough. Um, and what I like and what I noticed, right? Sure, throughout your whole engagement, nothing really has changed. I'm still seeing you posting about your constituency. Well, a lot of people might think, well, he's no longer in that position, so that means that he no longer has to do this thing. You're getting a chance to do more in the
Well,
community.
correct. Well, let me give you a joke. No, sometimes, again, it goes back to the point I was making earlier. You have to know when to respond to some of these things. Now, when the news broke, and let me just add some clarity. Now, in to serve at cabinet, you serve at the pleasure of the prime minister. One and two, the process involved to serve at cabinet means that you're either appointed or in this instance where you no longer serve, that's the process. You have to be revoked. It is not to say you are being revoked because John Smith didn't like you, Mary Jane have an issue with you, or anything like that. But that is the process involved. Remember, the purpose for which I am moving out from cabinet is not because I'm going away. So I've heard all kind of ridiculous statements being made, and one would just ask the question: okay, if you are saying that you didn't have any dealings with any internal decision that was made, where am I going? What flight am I going on? They can't answer that, but they say not going away. It's just propaganda. So again, it's empty. So I am going to complete my degrees online, and that's just the basic thing. I mean, I don't know anybody who does not know about online or distance learning at this point. We did a number of it during COVID 19. And so, even if you didn't understand how it would work out, then you certainly got to experience it and you certainly now learn what it entails. So, when people talk about how come you're going to study and so on, you sound uneducated and you sound as if you don't understand how the world works. I'm saying that in this instance, we are seeing the bigger picture. And I may not be able to go into all of the details into the making of this decision at this point. But certainly, I am saying, Junior, that the public could rest assured there is no issue where nothing is concerned. And I can tell you this, that if I have to do it all over again, and come out so that I could focus on the degree. I have no difficulty. The only thing I would add is that I don't like the slowness of politics. That's my biggest regret, is that it takes too long to bring benefits to people with the public service.
Right, right, right. Okay, guys, right about now, we open up the phone lines. I know the minister time is short. He's in Carrick right now. He's sparing
Yeah.
us this time to be on. So I want to take just a few calls. I'll be, treated very, I'll be cursed out, I should say, if I ain't take some calls from the viewers, at least. Because say I take all the
Yes.
talk.
Yes.
Let's take
Yes.
my chance right now. 718-701-5720, guys. We're speaking here with Honorable Ron Redhead, and he's talking about his achievements and the whole conversation about the cabinet reshuffle. So I'll give you guys an opportunity to chime in right now. The number again, 718-701-5720. While we wait on the call, let's talk about future aspirations. What are some of the things that after this process, this time frame has elapsed, and you have gotten your degree, what are your future
Mhm.
aspirations? Do you think that you want to get deeper into frontline politics, knowing that it's a hard? I mean, it's not going to get easier from here.
Yeah. No, well, the sky is the limit. I couldn't really predict the future, so I won't want to venture into that at this point. But I would say the sky is the limit.
Right. Okay. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. As a lot of people said at one point in time, based on your demeanor. Well, let me take
Mhm.
this call. Take this call. I'll take the call on the speakerphone, and you may not be able to speak to them, but they will. You would hear them. Caller, you live. You could go ahead right now with your comments.
Hi, good night, Junior, and good night to the Honorable Minister.
Yes.
So I'd like to first congratulate him on taking up a lot of the stuff that he said before. I know it can be very, very challenging as an individual, especially as a young individual. And I can see that he does have a little fire in him. So I know sitting there and hearing all this stuff being said about you, I know sometimes he wants to just use his fingers and just, respond. But I must say, I think in my opinion, he did a good job with regards to culture. He was making some headway with regards to sports. As he also mentioned himself, I was not very, very satisfied with his performance in the Ministry of Youth. But as he would have said, I guess he had some challenges just getting through the web that was there before. Not really sure exactly of the web because I'm not in there, but that's what he would have said. But I'd like to just ask him, because he has said some stuff that kind of made me raise my eyebrows a bit to ask, if he was to go back in time, well, a while ago he said if he go back in time, he'd do it again. But it's sort of a different question that if he was to go back in time, would he still go into politics, and would he encourage, or what would he say to a young person who say, listen, minister, I want to get into politics. Like, what's your take on it? What would you say to me?
All right, thank you, caller. So listen.
And lastly, before I leave, I'd like to ask him, what landmark, or what something that is really, really, really on his plate that he wants to get out with regards to his constituency.
All right, thank you so much, caller. Listen to the response on the live. Yeah.
All right. Excellent questions, Junior.
Yeah.
I would say that as it relates to if I would encourage young people to get involved in politics, yes. I think too often the politicians make the into a sour experience, and therefore one concludes that is but in reality, and leadership to country, the youngest among, and I say this particularly because my feeling is that whether we want to start here in Grenada, occurs at the hands of young people. All of our leaders, at some point in time, when they took office, they were younger than they left office. And this is when they came in with the fervor, etc., etc. Now, not all was able to achieve anything of substance, and many of them, in hindsight, wasted the opportunities that they had. However, I would say that young people need not be afraid to get involved in politics, and this is my feeling. I think it's something good. Again, it comes down to you, the individual politician, how you react, how you work with people, what you do, what is your vision, your cause, etc. Are you just about people business, or are you about solving problems? That is what you need to determine. So when you get involved, make sure you know what you're coming to do. And it's not brand one who will talk, and you're just looking to score some political points because you had experience with senior politicians in the past who was just all about propaganda and no substance. As it relates to the constituency in terms of the landmark, I would still like to guard to my chest. I do have it. In fact, I have three big ticket items that I want to achieve in St. George Northeast, and I'm guarding it with life. I am still not satisfied that we are ready to be able to roll out all of it. And so the work in the background is still being done, but nonetheless, it is being done. And in just 18 months or so, we have laid the foundation for some of it already. And in time to come, we're going to be announcing more of it as we go on.
All right. Thank you there. And again, guys, the phone lines are open. If you want to call, the number that you call is 718-701-5720. We're chatting live here with Honorable Ron Redhead. Let's take a quick break, guys. We're due for a break, and we'll come back with some more of your calls. Don't move. We'll be right back.
Everybody got the gloves? Right. All right.
Grenada from this perspective.
Yeah.
These are places that the regular taxi guys can't take.
No, they can't take.
You know, you're smelling the nice mountain air,
Exactly.
listening to the breeze. You know what I mean? And just the actual feel of roughing it in the outdoors.
The beautiful forest of St. Mark. Yeah.
In difficulty, this trail, I give it a 9 out of 10 for me. But the fun aspect of it, I'll give it a 10 out of 10 for fun.
For this challenge, you need to go to the gym and physical up yourself.
Oh, this experience has been an amazing experience. To be honest, it's one of my first hike, bike ride in the forest, nature. I mean, it's amazing.
Doing this, I initially thought that it would be a great experience for people to come out, get the exercise, get the physical workout, burn some calories, at the same time get to learn about Grenada because it's all eco-friendly and it's all community tourism. That's what we promote it.
I tell you, hey, Ebike in Blaze and Shuffle like a razor. We riding, Ebike, was singing the night, last thing in the morning, mad.
Yeah, we are back, guys, and I want to invite you guys, if you have not yet done so, if you have not yet tried it, we're inviting you guys to try out the brand new Ride e-bike excursions and tours. You could rent your e-bike right in the Esplanade Mall, or you could go on a trail with us. This Sunday, we're going to be in the parish of St. Andrew. It's all about a ride and tube. So we're teaming up with fantastic. I always get it mixed up. She's going to kill me. Lisa Chase, how you doing? Fantastic adventure. Fantastic Adventure Island. Oh, Lord, I'm sorry, Lisa. But anyway, we're riding on tubing this Sunday, and we want you guys to be a part of it. Book right now to be a part of this amazing event. We're back live, and we have Honorable Ron Redhead with us. Caller, you live? Go right ahead.
Hello, good night. Congratulations, Ron. Ron, based on what you said, what can we get the public service working in such a way that the vast majority of Grenadians can get things done faster and better? Do you have any ideas? Cutting out waste, getting projects implemented faster? Any ideas you can put forward on the table? I think an open process where people have access to it will be one of those. So it's not always closely guarded by the permanent secretaries and some of those people. But you'll be interested to hear it, yes.
Thank you, caller. Listen to his response on the live. Yes.
Right. Yeah, so thanks, caller. I think I agree with you. When it comes to, remember, I said in the starting of the program that and as when a decision has been made to the benefit of the country, it takes a little while to reach to the people who are going to be impacted. Take, for example, if we need to do, let's say, a cleanup in a particular area, and there might be some illegal business set up in the area. The decision is made at the ministry, but who carries out the decision or implements it is not a minister, right? Not a political figure. You have the PS, you might have the SAO, you might have some other senior officer related to the department in terms of its leadership. Things needs to be signed off on, etc. A letter and go to the person allotting them that look, on the 26th of this month we are going to take this decision, etc. And oftentimes the minister, if he or she is not on top of their game, that is a decision that was decided upon but was not implemented sufficiently. And when time comes in terms of a deadline, you see people act or rather react, and then now you hear people say, well, nobody informed me, I wasn't this, I wasn't that, and so on. So often how the public service is serving the public is a difficulty, because for the average public servant, and I hope they don't take offense to this, but you ain't really checking on, or worried rather, about the 5-year cycle. Your business is, you're a public servant, you're doing your work, whether you go slow, whether you go fast, you're doing your work, right? And whether you want to be professional or not, you're doing your work. So at the end of the day, like you pay, you good. And so in your corner, you don't see the need to be empathetic in some instances, because as, let's say, a senior individual, your role and responsibility is to sign off on a decision that is made. And so oftentimes these things can affect, because you could say, well, I go do that next week because we might have this event upcoming and I see that as the priority. But the truth is, for that individual or maybe even a family, not signing that paper no and approving something could mean life or death for them. And most of the times they get overlooked because it's not Mr. XYZ that could call and say, Minister or PS, this and that. They don't have that relationship. And so, to the vast majority of people, how the public is almost in a reactionary, from afar setup. And so, when Prime Minister talks about getting the public service to be responsive, these are some of the things that he is into. And again, at this point, I would not like to say that concretely I'm recommending that we do X, Y, Z. I'm saying that the issues or the deficit is being observed. And the question is, what measure do we apply to be able to fix this issue of the slowness of the public service? Now, on one hand, you need to have checks and balances. So I'm not saying that we must just remove all red tape and just open Sipolka. I'm not promoting that. But I'm saying when it comes to actioning decisions, because I have had my fair share of it to the point where, in some instances, as the minister, I didn't used to play where that is concerned. If we agree on something, this is what has to be implemented. And so if I needed to walk around anybody to get it done, I did that. And I'm not fearful of that because I think part of the problem is that we simply cannot see the forest for the trees. We have to see far beyond that and try and understand the bigger picture. It's not about me. If you don't like me, it's not about if you can't work with this person, but it's about serving public of Trinidad. And in some instances, that really played a part to delay that for me or you, Junior, but for an ordinary person or family, if they eat. And sometimes we needed to be a bit more responsive, in my view, where that was concerned.
No, I completely understand what you're talking about because, as you know, I just launched this business in Grenada, and at some points of the process, I could see someone saying, "Oh Lord of mercy, this is just going too slow. I can't. This is not working for me." And sometimes you try to say, "Well, I mean, you have cards that you don't want to play your card. You just want to go through the
Yeah,
process." But
yeah,
oftentimes, it's not the minister or not the person that at the helm. Oftentimes, it's someone in the public service that is, as you say, they might say, "Oh, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do it next week or
yeah,
whatever," and it's bottlenecking the system. A lot of instances, it's just bottlenecking the system,
yeah.
and some of those bottleneck need to be pumped. You know. So
And again, just to add so it's not to say that I'm personalizing. I don't want any public to feel aggrieved by what I'm saying, but it's simply to say, for example, the traditional and mechanism of how the public service functions, that you must do this before you do that, and so on. So as barriers. So some of the traditions that are not for the times that we live in, that is what we need to work collectively to change. It cannot be the politician trying to change it only because it will come across as if we are trying to tighten our grip and if we're trying to be dictatorial with the public service. So it has to be an us thing. And I think the National Democratic Congress government is well poised to be able to usher in such a change, not because we are doing all of the things that we haven't done for years, since our 50 years of independence. It's not to say that we are ordained by God, etc., etc. It's nothing like that. But it's just to say that because we are taking a fresh look at the situation, and understanding that we're not coming from the usual career public service thinking where you came through the ranks and if it's left on this paper you have to write this, that's how you're doing it because that's what you know. It's just that you're trying to look at the best, most efficient way to ensure that the people's resources are not being spent on something that is so complex that the people themselves, even after paying taxes, can't really see the benefit of what they pay in taxes for. But in a nutshell, is to say that when we talk about changes, not just from a partisan standpoint of the government, but changes that go deep in terms of the slowness of the public service to react to solving our problems in the country. So it's more about that philosophy in terms of what we want to see. So again, I couldn't have this single suggestion or recommendation, but I believe it's a collective effort that will be required.
Absolutely, absolutely. I strongly believe so. And I have some recommendation that I will make as well, in
Mhm.
order to try to speed up the process. Well,
Yeah.
we have time, but I just
Mhm.
want you to talk quickly about this big celebration right now. 50th anniversary of independence.
Yeah,
50 is a
man.
big deal. 50
It's
is
a
a
big.
big deal.
Yeah.
Remarks, what's your
Yeah.
comment on this celebration?
Yeah. Well, I am just so happy to see, in particular, the young people and the children really taking a liking to it augurs well because we always say and mention that we are a resilient nation. But in terms of actually showing that resilience through practical, actionable steps that will help to maintain the tradition, the history, the culture, and so on of Grenada, I think right now is a perfect example of what we need to do. And so, for example, the policy decision to teach Grenadian history is going to go a long way in ensuring that we maintain that interest and fervor and patriotism around our country, and especially, as I said, among the young ones. 50 is a big deal, and government is doing its best to ensure that as a nation, collectively, we come together and celebrate it. I think still that we have to find that je ne sais quoi, so to speak, in relation to what is the single big ticket item that will bring our people together. Because I come from the belief that unity cannot be plucked out from the sky. You have
Right.
to have something to be united for. And so, whether it is government, opposition, the people, all of us must come together under that banner. And so, 50 is a golden opportunity to usher in that new type of unity. And I think that so far it is going. This is actually a dream of mine, where rather than the soca artists, the calypsonians, the groovy artists, and or general genre of artists that are available in Grenada fighting against themselves, that they would unite to produce these things. And so I want to give kudos to people like Orlando, Kino, Romain, Prime Minister himself. The whole vibe with the 50th is just so positive and brings such a good energy that it makes me feel proud, even though I haven't reached 50 years and I wasn't around during the revolution or when we fought for the independence. Not being there, but now, see fruits of it, it makes me feel proud to be Grenadian and to be able to demonstrate or rather showcase to the world our talent and our capacity. I think this, in and of itself, speaks to the growth that we've made from 50 years prior to now. While we've had successes, but I think this quality and caliber of song locally produced is something that we probably used to dream about back in the 90s and so on, because we couldn't believe that we'd be able to use the creative industry, the creative economy to produce such a rich and high quality theme song. But I want to give all the artists their kudos and just as generally to the team. They're doing an excellent job as the NOC. You're going to get difficulties here and there because that is the order of life. Everything would not be a smooth sail. But one thing you have to do is remain committed and focused. And we know the objective is to certainly unite this country after 50 years. And as we prepare to go into the next 50, to mark maybe in time to come the 100, I think we need to lay the foundation solid, and they are doing a good job at this point.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable Redhead, for coming on. I know, again, you in Carriacou and just celebrated your birthday as well, but you
Yes,
took the time to chat with us and we appreciate it. We'll keep in
yes,
touch.
yes.
Enjoy Carriacou. I'll be in Carriacou soon.
All right,
Soon.
well, good to hear.
Yeah,
Well, is
man.
it for with the e-bikes? With the e-bikes?
Yeah, we're going to be in
All right.
Carriacou with the Ebike, but we're also going to be there for the carnival as well.
Oh, nice. All right, cool. Well, let
Yeah.
me just congratulate you, Junior, before I leave, in terms of your achievement with the e-bikes and also coming on stream with Carnival. It's what your third year, I believe, in terms of being involved. So let me take the opportunity to congratulate you. And again, you're investing in your country. That is what we want to encourage Grenadians abroad. Feel free to come back and invest in your country, and let's build Grenada. Cargo and Petit Man. Thanks
Thank you.
again.
Thank you so much, Minister. Keep in touch.
All right. Yes.
Yeah, man. That was Honorable Ron Redhead. Got some closing remarks, guys. Got a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
I want you folks to play these 3 games from the NLA. Daily pick 3 cash flow and play with. You will be supporting sports and culture, nation building and our future. So go out and play, folks, make it a must. You will see what the National Lottery is doing for us. When you play pick 3 cash flow and play with, the NLA will support you all the way.
Starting September 30th, Monday to Friday, these 3 games will be drawn mid-morning, 9:45 a.m., midday, 12:45 p.m., and evenings, 7:45 p.m. The National Lotteries, supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Sunday money day.
Development Authority of Grenada, PDA, is enforcing regulations to curb illegal, disorderly, and unauthorized development in several locations throughout the state of Grenada. The authority is concerned that structures mainly associated with vending are negatively impacting the environment, has undesirable public health and sanitation consequences, present obstructions to vehicle and pedestrian traffic, can become projectiles during adverse weather conditions, and generally affect the aesthetics of the nation. The PDA will work along with stakeholder ministries and institutions to effect the demolition, removal, and disposal of structures which fall in the category of illegal and disorderly development, commencing January 2024. In this regard, persons who vend in or occupy such illegal structures are advised to secure their personal belongings and have the structures removed ahead of the planned PDA demolition operations. These actions of the PDA have become necessary to safeguard and protect public health and the environment, ensure the safety and well-being of all citizens and visitors, discourage any future disorderly construction, and encourage compliance to regulations pertaining to physical development in the state of Grenada. This is a message from the Planning and Development Authority of Grenada.
Absolutely, absolutely, guys. I want to remind everyone that this Sunday, right, and every weekend, it's all about the Ride e-bike excursions and tours happening in Grenada. This weekend, we have something called the Ride and Tube. Ride and Tube. And every Sunday, guys, the riders have such a great time. That was in St. Patrick last Sunday, and they got a chance to explore the beautiful historic parish of St. Patrick. So amazing. So if you're a true rider, and you want to take advantage of this great opportunity to have fun, learn about the history, and just ride, man. Just get out and feel the fresh air. Give us a call and book your next excursion ride today. The number that you call right now, and I'll give you guys a little thing. If you book within this next 15 minutes, if you call and book within the next 15 minutes, I'm giving everybody, all the true riders, a 10% discount for our next ride, all right? So you call 473, that's on WhatsApp, 473-422-1011. That's 473-422-1011, and book and mention you heard this ad on Ride Along right now and get a 10% discount to be a part of our next ride and tube, which is taking place in St. Andrew, right? So book, let me give you the link. This is the link. If you want to book online right now, this is the link. But they say you can't ride. You haven't ridden in a long time or you're afraid to ride. You just want to tube? We got this for you. Click that link and just register to tube, all right? And enter promo code for CARICOM and National. We're going to place the promo code there so you could get your $75 discount for CARICOM students and nationals. All right? Want to see you in St. Patrick riding with us. If you're a true rider, We want to see you in St. Andrew this weekend.
For an exhilarating adventure? Then look no further than Ride Excursions and Tours. Get ready to explore the great outdoors like never before with our powerful e-bikes. Discover breathtaking sightseeing tours around the island. Feel the wind in your hair and experience nature in its purest form. Now, whether you're a seasoned rider or a beginner, our e-bikes are perfect for everyone. Call us at 473-422-1011 to book your excursion or visit ridersebikes.com. That's ridersebike.com to reserve your spot. Unleash your adventurous spirit with Ride Excursions and Tours, where every journey becomes an unforgettable adventure.
Guys, if you're flying or planning to fly to Grenada for independence, you gotta fly with JetBlue. Go to jetblue.com right now and book your flight. Book from New York, 2 flights, direct flights to Grenada. Every day, you have no excuse, guys. Go to jetblue.com right now and book. Now, if you're in the Boston area, Boston, Saturdays. Yeah, direct flight from Boston on Saturdays. JetBlue. Book now.
Ministry of Tourism and Economic Development and the Grenada Tourism Authority extend a warm welcome to visitors and returning nationals visiting for Carnival and summer vacation. We do hope you enjoy your stay with us, and we invite you to return with friends and family to celebrate our 50th anniversary of independence on 7th February 2024. Tourism is my business, your business, our business.
Yeah, guys, I want to take this opportunity to thank Honorable Ron Redhead for coming on and chatting with us. Guys, this is an open forum, open platform for anyone to discuss, all right? So we open it up for opposition ministers, MPs, come on, let's chat. Love to have conversation, of course. That's what it's all about. It's everyone have a story to tell, all right? Thanks to our team, our moderators, our senior executive producer, Lois JJ, our advertisers. And guys, if you have a business and you want to advertise on the ride, you want to get your word out, you want to send your business viral, there are so many different options, right? We are viewed right now on your Fire TV. We are viewed right now inside of the Esplanade Mall with our kiosks, our outpost right at the Esplanade Mall. And of course, we have a tremendous view here on Ride Along Live on other platforms around ANN in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Big up yourself, my brother. And all over the world. So send your business viral when you advertise on Ride Along Live. Call for more information, 718-701-5720. And listen up, it pays to advertise on Ride Along Live. It doesn't cost, it pays to advertise on Ride Along Live.
Us and reach millions daily, weekly, monthly. Yeah, over 10 million per month. It pays to advertise with us. Reach more and let us send your business viral. Advertise with us and reach more.
Everybody got the gloves? Right. All right.
Grenada from this perspective.
Yeah.
These are places that the regular taxi guys can't take.
No, they can't.
You know, you're smelling the nice mountain air,
Exactly.
listening to the breeze. You know what I mean? And just the actual feel of roughing it in the outdoors.
Beautiful forest of St. Mark. Yeah.
In difficulty, this trail, I give it a 9 out of 10. For me. But the fun aspect of it, I'll give it a 10 out of 10 for fun.
For this challenge, you need to go to the gym and physical up yourself.
This experience has been an amazing experience. To be honest, it's one of my first hike, bike ride in the forest, nature. I mean, it's amazing.
Doing this, I initially thought that it would be a great experience for people to come out, get the exercise, get the physical workout, burn some calories, at the same time get to learn about Grenada, because it's all eco-friendly and it's all community tourism. That's what we promote it.
I tell you, hey, Ebike in blaze a shuffle like a razor. We riding, Ebike was singing in the night, last thing in the morning, mad.
Guys, before I go, let me tell you about this. If you're looking for a job, you're looking for a job as a RN or CNA, All Pro NY wants you. They say calling all passionate healthcare heroes ready to take their career to the highest level. All Pro Staffing has been an incredible opportunity for experienced RN and CNAs in a vibrant community in the New York, New Hyde Park, Queens, right? That's the location. They say, picture this, a long-term contract. That position is available right now for you. Again, for CNAs and RN in the New Hyde Park, Queens location. Give them a call right now at 516-387-4246. That's 516-387-4246. Or check them out online at Call All Pro now. Our CNA and RN looking for a high-paying job in the New York City area. Give All Pro a call now. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being a part of our program today. Good night, and good night. On behalf of all of our production team here, Lois, JJ, how are you doing? Thank you so much. Gibbs, Gail, good night, everybody. See you guys tomorrow. Good night. Bye.